Hello, hi, everyone. Good evening to you. I am Michael Stewart. Welcome to Mike at Night. Good evening to all of you great people. Yes, sorry about the late start, technology, how it is. Okay, how are you all doing? Make sure you share the live, call people, tell them come inside. We're live on Mike at Night. Where's everybody? Nicely. McKinney John, nice to have you on board. Yes, so we just allow a number of people to come in with us so far. Uh-huh. Who else do we have? Who else do we have? Okay, I hope you all would have had a wonderful week so far. If you watch it, the week is practically finished. Imagine that, practically finished. Joanna Peters, good evening, good evening, good evening. Y'all come inside, come inside. We're talking about what causes low sex drive in men, what causes low sex drive in women. Yep, we're going to have a wonderful time with this. We sort of don't like to talk some topics, because we don't like what the topics may bring out, but they are necessary in most cases. Everybody. So we're going to deal with the men first, and then we're going to deal with the women. Call your husband, call your boyfriend, call your wife. Yep, call your girlfriend. Tell them, listen in. It may help somebody. Yep, if you all hear me properly, let me know. I want to make sure that we're operating on time. Okay. Okay. All right, Joanna Peters, nice. Good having you. Pamela, good evening to you. Yes. We're just waiting for a few more people to join us. Hey, Michelle Nicholson. Michelle, which part of the world are you in this hour of the year? Tell me, which part of the world are you in? You always all someplace flying the world. This is Mike at Night, people. We have a mic at day and we have a mic at night. All right. Okay. So we don't have much time to waste. So I want to be able to get into it. Candice Alexander, good evening to you. Nice having you on board. Michelle in Trinidad. Okay. Let me just tell you all, I'm transmitting from the lovely island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's where we're at this point in time. Lovely people, great food. I just had a nice red fish fried down with boiled corn and a side of mashed potato and vegetables and so on. Nice. The people that feed you nice in this place here. Yes, Cecil, you reach? Nice, Cecil. Good. Come in, man. Come in. Everybody come in. Yes. So I want to wish the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines a wonderful, wonderful day. They have been very hospitable, very nice to me while I'm here, along with the team that I'm here with. All right. So let's get down. Low sex drive. Let me tell you, we probably don't like to talk about it, but a low sex drive affects everybody who have been active. You think you're going to be at you're driving in overdrive all the time. No, people don't drive at overdrive all the time. That will burn the pistons. That will burn the gears and the bearing. No, you don't want to do that. So every so often, and things happen, and you have a low desire for sex. So we're going to talk about some of that, and we're going to talk about in men, what are those things that demonstrate that you have a low sex drive? All right. Let me tell you, if you wish, you can call in and go live on the air and give your own ideas or ask a question. And the number is 868-688-5363. That is 868-688-5363. Once we do that, then you'll be able to patch in live on here and give your ideas direct. But if you want counseling, you can also call that number, private and confidential counseling. That is 868-688-5363. All right. What is it that causes low sex drive in men? We're going to start it off with men first. But I wanted you to know that both sexes suffer from this low sex drive issue. And it has both physical and psychological. Some people experiencing physical issues, and there are some people experiencing psychological issues. You got to know which one that you're suffering from. There are some people who are suffering from it, but don't even know that they're suffering from it. Their partner says, we are not having sex enough. And as far as they're concerned, they are. Yeah, because for them, that amount is enough. But if it is not the volume that your partner wants, it has got to go up the importance and the priority scale if your partner is not very comfortable with the amount. Same way, if your sex drive is too high and your partner only says, this is too much for me, then you've got to take it down, because we have to live together in harmony in all that we do. So this low libido is what some people call it, can come from a number of places and situations. So let's deal with the men first, because that is a shorter list. Yeah, that is a shorter list. So let's deal with yes. All right. So one of the things that they say that men suffer from when it comes to low sex drive is the alcohol intake. The way how some men treat their body, not only is it affecting their sex drive, it is affecting their ability to reproduce and impregnate a woman. Your low sperm count because sometimes you're on drugs, and I'm talking about illicit drugs, and you're engaging yourself in a number of things that you should probably be staying away from. So that is going to affect you. So the drugs happens to be one of them. If you have low levels of testosterone, because testosterone is what gives a man his desire, that drive, that passion for sex. But some people have a low testosterone level, and that could be affecting them. But if you don't go and have it checked out, you would be living in a sense of denial, while your spouse very well may be going through their own frustration because they are not being satisfied with the amount that they're getting. Yeah. So if you're overworking yourself and you're beating your body, you're not going to bed on time and sleeping, staying up late, liming and doing a number of things, your body eventually is going to run down. Yes. Joan said she now come in. She was feeling sleepy, but one word a week, the sleepiness. Carried away the sleepiness. I wonder what word is that? Liz Gee, good evening to you. Nice having you. Joanne Benjamin. Nice. Sharon, my lady. Good to see you. That's Sharon Andrews. Trouble too bad. Yep, if you see her coming one direction, run the next. Yeah. Joan, I'm anxious to hear what is that one word. If you want, send me it privately. If you don't want to call it out on the air. All right. So we're talking about what a man goes through and his testosterone levels. But you can get induced testosterone in order to be able to build up back your testosterone. So there are solutions. We don't have to be in the situation where we are hopeless. Kevin Anthony, good evening. We can get some solutions. And let's move towards solutions and don't sit down and do nothing. One of the most things that I think frustrate our women with us in men is when we don't get up and get. We don't take action. We procrastinate and put off things, and sometimes even with our health. Because when the health get bad, who do you think? I went to the doctor sometime, and well, I went alone. I usually go and do my regular checks, and I go alone. There are times my wife will go with me, but I don't need her to go with me when it comes to these things. I will just make sure I keep my checks on. And the doctor was saying that it is unusual for a man to just walk in to check himself, because most times the man has to come is because a woman insists, force, or accompanies him. That shouldn't be men. We're supposed to do better than that. We're supposed to give ourselves the gift of good health. When we get ill, who do you think that pressure comes on? The very same woman that is there with us. They are the ones who have to be there fighting up with us with every illness that we have. Yeah. Lynn Winchester, good evening. Nice having you. Sharon says she's not prepared to take down her sex drive if it's high. Well, if the man cannot keep up with you, Sharon, what you're going to do? Take it by force? What do you think it is? This is not toast bread, you know. You understand me? You think it's that? Okay. Okay. So we're talking now, and we up to the point of where we're talking about the sex drive is low and what might be causing. For those of you who just joined us, thank you all for coming in, people. You all need to come in on time, even though I started slightly late, but you all need to come in on time. Plane don't wait on passengers. You need to come and meet the plane when it take off. Even the plane late, you need to be there waiting on the plane. Anyway, depression also affects men. And now in today's society, when depression leading to suicide in men in a very large proportion, particularly in my very lovely country of Trinidad and Tobago, a number of men committing suicide because they are depressed. They are really at their wits' end. Unfortunately, the table seems to be turning, because in my country, I think 2 days ago, 48 hours ago, if not 24 hours ago, a policewoman shot her partner and shot herself. Both of them now are homicide. I don't know what the issue is, and I don't want to do as what Facebook people do, always surmise what caused it and who was at fault. I'm not going to do that. But I will tell you, it is really sad. Depression is real. You see? And now you even have a woman committing the suicide and the acts of violence and murder. Fatigue also could affect your sex life. Did you know that? You're working hard and you're not getting enough rest. Your body cannot rejuvenate. So even if you could start the very act, you cannot finish it properly. That is. You might think you finished, but the other person you will think that you are done. You might be leaving business undone, and you don't even know it. So men, work on it. If a man is in pain also, it also affects him. So he might have a back pain, he might have pain about his body and so on. It's hard if he has joint pain for him to be able to enjoy this thing. He might have circulation problems. Anytime you have a heart problem, you have a circulation problem. And if you're having circulation problems, then it is also going to affect your ability to be a good soldier, standing at attention. When the music starts, you might find that music starts and the soldiers still asleep. I am trying to be radio friendly at this time. Lynn Winchester, good evening, Mike. I'm on my cell phone. Very interesting program. Hey, Lynn, nice having you. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Yeah. Boy, Joan, you let Sharon chain you up. You let Sharon chain you up. Sharon is she just Sharon elevator don't climb all the way to the top, you know, doctor. Yeah. Um, Wonderful. All right. So I give you so much already for the men. Smoking affects a man's sex drive. Anytime a woman goes with a smoking man, she knows that one of the chances are he may have a sex drive. Now, don't think that every smoker is in this situation or every drinker is in this situation. It's not an absolute situation because there are some smokers that could give you a run for your money. So are some drinkers. But generally, from what the doctors are saying, they are saying that it affects your sex drive. It lowers it. All right. Sleep apnea. You can't sleep at night. Diabetes, well, that is number one in my books. Try and stay away from diabetes, my people, especially when you have diabetes and hypertension, those comorbidities and those things that communal type, non-communal type diseases, those things that can be controlled by lifestyle, they affect us tremendously. All right. So we talk about the alcohol and so on. If a man has had a sexual experience that has been bad, then, and it could be from a number of things. There are some boys who have been exposed to sex by adult women. Make no bones about it. That is the reality. Whether we want to accept it or not, it happens. So when they have a bad experience, let's say that they have an experience that they had an early arrival at the gate. Yeah. If they're landing the plane and the plane land before the time and the spouse gives a bad reaction for that early arrival, it could affect a man. His ego could be injured. So that could cause him to be apprehensive the next time he's going to have sex with that woman, especially if she was very angry and very naughty in the way she expressed, and if she was insulting at his floundering. I want you ladies to hear that. So you have to be very cautious, very empathetic, or else you could cause a man to lose the ability to have a desire for you. Now, that doesn't say that he will not have a desire for another woman, but he may have a difficulty in having a desire for you. Yeah? So that negative experience could be. If a man has a low self-esteem, that could also be a problem because, you know, there are some men are very confident about themselves and so on. And so they don't think that they're all that hip when it comes to sex and so on. That could also affect a man. Yeah. I think somebody needs to share this with somebody who's listening. Anybody who is there and you know of any of these things that we're talking about that we need to deal with, make sure you share it for me, please. The man needs to know how to control his jet fuel. Yes, Sharon, I agree with you with that. Boy. I had to try to deal with this very delicately, Sharon. Let me tell you, a man will be trying hard, and men will tell me whether I'm talking sense here. Sometimes a man will be trying hard to run the distance. But sometimes there is an extra injection of fuel into the carburetor that has caused him to take off faster than he had planned. And once he has reached at a certain speed, he can't slow that down again. And that is where we just get ourselves in trouble, especially if the woman is very passionate and things going good. That's the most I could say to that, Sharon. I ain't going deeper in that. That is a case before the court. I is not going further. Let me see here. Sharon said, Joan is an experienced, wise woman. Yeah, she easy shit to herself. Yeah? So, both always like, one say cut, the next one say hold. Or how the old people put it. One say hold, the next one say cut. None to save the next one. All right. I hope all are getting that. And I hope the men listening to it, because one of the things is that as men, we live in denial. We think we launching rocket when it is some of them fireworks that we don't see on Independence. Fizzle up. Just a lot of noise. And no beauty and experience of grandeur. Noise only. All you know what I mean? All the big and all the assets. There is no sometimes in this. If you take off before time, we have problems on that flight. We have problems on that flight. Shawan, hour. No, man, you're too unfair. Shawan, not every time a man can be able to deliver the package, man. Hold on. You must have some flight that did not go well. You're going to have some turbulence. You'll have to come back to the airport and either take off again or delay that flight for next day. Yeah. So don't be so hard on the men that if you take off properly, you have problems on the flight. No, man, you could coax. You could coax the flight. Sometimes you need to give it a drum start. Yes. Good evening, people. All come in. Yes. All right. So, self-esteem is it. And here's what the literature says also. If a man has been rejected often enough from sex, it could affect his desire for sex. And it could affect his desire for sex from that woman. If a woman keeps telling him no, if a woman keeps denying him, if a woman keeps using sex as punishment, he could lose his desire, sexual desire for that woman. All right? And of course, they say PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, could also contribute towards it. All right? We get that? Well, for the solution to that, men, just reverse all of it. Slow down on the drinking or stop the drinking preferably. Take regular exercise, the doctors say, because some men not getting enough exercise. And you need the exercise to keep healthy. Reduce the experience of stress on the job. Good evening, Joan. Joan, good night from Signal Hill. Joan, don't tell me you're still here and you ain't call me. Joan Phillips Pierre. So you left and came back? My goodness. Well, Joan, I'm not in Tobago now. I'm in St. Vincent. But anyway, we'll chat on WhatsApp after. Okay. All right. So, exercise, men. Right? Take regular exercise. And some of you probably need to give up smoking. The injectors need changing. Charmaine, you know talk. You know motor car. The injectors probably cleaning it clog. You see? It's not giving you full injection. All right. They say also stop using drugs. Your drugs licking up your sperm count and all of that. I was reading where they said that so many men now have such low sperm count, and it is because of the number of young men who are on drugs. What a thing, what a thing, what a thing. All right. All right. 868-688-5363. If you want to call me and you want to go on air on the topic, please do so. If you have a question you want to ask, either put it in the chat on Facebook or just message me. Well, no, don't message me. I can't read my messages on the phone now, but you could call. All right. So that is it for the men. I need to go to the women. All right. One of your friends died. Okay, well, if he was in the party, I sure would have seen him. So condolences. You really a faithful friend, you know, because you leave here and you come back to share in the grief with his family and friends. Thank you very much. That is so like you, Joe. Sorry to hear that. If you're there after Saturday, I should catch you. All right, well, people. So we got that. Let's talk about the woman now. This one is a nice one. Woman and low sex drive. Here. So they say that women with their sex drive fluctuate. It fluctuates from highs and lows for different reasons, pregnancy, menopause, illness, what have you, that they go through, stress, and all of that. There is something that they call, if you're, and this is Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic is saying it. If a woman lack of interest in sex continues or returns and causes personal distress, she may be going through a condition called sexual interest disorder or sexual arousal disorder. And that also means she needs help too. So don't ignore that. It might be that you're going through sexual arousal disorder. It may not just be menopause. I don't know how they deal with that disorder. They didn't tell me, but that's what they said. So if you are bothered by a low sex drive or decreased sex drive, there are lifestyle changes that Mayo Clinic says that you could do to change that. So here are some of the symptoms that they say for women with low sex drive. I'm not talking to Joan, and I'm not talking to Sharon. None of the Jones, in fact. Joan Phillips, Pierre, nor Joan Ward, and Sharon Andrew. The rest of you all is who are talking to. Listen to what it says. Symptoms of a low sex drive in women. Having no interest in any type of sexual activity, including masturbation, they say. You just have no interest at all in it. Then you have a sexual arousal issue. 2, never or only seldom having sexual fantasies or thoughts. And this is necessary sometimes even for arousal, to think of sex, sexual act, or sexual encounter helps you to be in the mood. And they say if you have no interest in sex, and 2, if you're not having any sexual fantasies or thoughts. And yes, there are women who don't even think about sex. And some of them proud to say they don't think about sex. And that's all right if that's what they want. But they can't boast about it and want sex. Yeah. 3, being concerned by your lack of sexual activities or fantasies. So now that's the third one. 1, you don't think about it, but you're concerned the fact that you don't. 1, you don't want it, and you're concerned of the fact that you don't seem to want it. then they said that you need to now get some help. So let's see if we could find out what are some of the causes. Here are some of the causes why some people don't desire sex. Women we're talking about. Okay. So if you're experiencing any problems in any of these ladies, then it's you we're talking about. Number one, if you have pain during sex, then that is going to lower your desire for sex. And pain could come from a number of reasons. One, the person who is rocking the boat is roughing the boat, not just rocking the boat. The person is rocking the boat and roughing the boat. Then you are not going to enjoy that ride at all. So the pain may come from somebody else, but that also means that you would have had that pain so often that you no longer look forward to it. You become apprehensive and anxiety kicks in when you're about to have it. So then you need to have a talk with that gentleman, a serious talk. Now, I know that some people are going to say, but I talked to him already. I know men have. But there needs to find a way to get across the message to the man, because he cannot be enjoying it while you are in pain. But I say that is one of them. And so therefore, if you're in pain, and the pain could come because the woman herself may not be well lubricated for one reason or the other. Maybe because she's going through menopause, and so whenever she's going through menopause, she does not become as aroused as early and as quickly and as intense in some cases, not in every case, as she may have been had she not been going through menopause. And there are things to do to be able to deal with that. You can increase foreplay longer, and this is both for the men and the women. You could increase foreplay. I'm no doctor in sex, so don't think so, but I have read. So you can increase foreplay for a longer period of time to give time for lubrication. Or there are things that you could purchase. It is called KY jelly. KY jelly. Write that down. KY jelly. Always put it nearby. If a woman encounters pain, there are so many other positions. The man could also use a lot of distractions. Okay. Yes, I agree with Sharon that we tend to, some positions are pain positions dependent on the woman and the understanding. I'm just going here now with what I read. The positioning of the uterus and all of that, that it could create some pain in women. So you just change our position. So missionary position and preaching the word is not all that you could use. You could go into some other positions in order to alleviate the pain. For the man, I think what Sharon is saying here, the man could also use a lot of distractions. I don't know if she's talking about when the man pre-ejaculates, that he gets all excited and where he takes off and lands too early. He could find some distraction, and that distraction could cause him to delay his arrival into the terminal. Yes. Also, if a man carries on foreplay longer and the woman comes closer to her exposure, he does not need as long to be in the departure lounge. He has a shorter time inside of there, and so if he has a premature ejaculation, he can be able to deliver a good dose of goods before everything finishes. I hope you're getting all of this talk. I am trying hard. Yes? Okay. So, we talk about that. So, it can reduce, the pain could reduce the sexual encounter. Charmin says sometimes women may go through something mentally that triggers pain, as it could be from the earlier years. Yep. If a woman has had sexual trauma as a child, an incestuous situation, rape, etc., the act of sex could make her become anxious and nervous at that time and cause her not to lubricate and also cause the eventual pain that she's going through. And in those cases, she needs to really talk to her husband and let the husband know these are the challenges she's going through so that he could work along with her. Yeah, Joanne Benjamin, come in. Thank you very much. She says she's loving it. I wonder loving what, Joanne? Sharon talking about a different distraction. She said cannot be explained here. That is for when we have a Zoom session. All right. I do plan to promise to have a Zoom session where we can tell it all and talk things without having to go through all of these poetic discussions. One day we're going to do that. Promise you. And if I don't remember, you all remind me. All right. Come in, people. Come in. Yep. We are live and alive. All right. So make sure that you're here. This is Mike at Night, and we are talking low sex drive. All right. And we are the women. So some women, this may surprise you, Sharon. There are some women have never experienced an orgasm. Ever. I don't know why. There might be different reasons why. But they don't see what is all of this hype about this sex business and so on, because they don't feel it, they don't get it. Some would tell you that they do it only because the man wants it. But they could do without it and they could live without it. I've heard many women say that. And they are saying how they truly believe. But isn't it, for those who want it, but never had it, it must be a painful journey. It could be the woman, it could be the man, as to why she's not having an orgasm. In fact, a man gets his high off of the climax of his woman. That is what makes him feel he has scored big. And if he does not get that, he feels as though he hasn't scored. Now, man, I ain't going there with that wrong partner business. Just because the partner ain't cause you to climax does not mean the wrong partner. He might be doing it wrong, but it does not mean he's a wrong partner. I ain't going down that road at all with you, Sha. So if the woman not pleasing the man, is she a wrong woman for the man? Never. Can your own husband turn you off by his words or actions? Says Charmin. Absolutely. But not just a man turning off a woman by his words and actions. The woman can turn off the man by her words and actions. So somebody could be very insulting. She could emasculate him by calling him names and talking about how incompetent he is in bed. Yeah. And that could cause the man to also lose it. And a man could be so hurtful in what he says to a woman that she's just going through the motion. That's why we should not be doing that. Yeah. Rashawn, you going down that road by yourself, not me. I am telling you that. All right. So we're talking about medical diseases. And I'm not talking about sexual diseases. Non-sexual diseases can affect sex drive, says Mayo Clinic, including arthritis. Woo. You people need to keep those joints oiled. That could affect your sex life. Did you know that? So arthritis is one. And they said cancer. Diabetes also, we spoke about that in men. And we spoke about that, high blood pressure, heart disease, We did say that heart disease always affects your circulation and neurological diseases. Medication that you're taking for hypertension could also affect you. Antidepressant drugs could also affect you. Yeah. So if you're on hypertensive drugs, know that that could lower your stuff. Yeah. Keep the joints oiled, Joanne. Yes. Sap it. Go to the beach and sap your knee. Your parents used to do that. Well, they thought it was just because they wanted to deal with the arthritis. They want to be able to go home and be oiled and be flexible. Yeah. Grandma knew what she was doing. You'll take the water, the sea, and sap she back. Okay, now you know now. So these drugs for hypertension and antidepressant and so on, they say, could lower your sex drive. Lifestyle habits such as drinking, excessive drinking, smoking, we talk about that with men, same thing with women, and so on, and fatigue. Exhaustion from seeing about children, seeing about your aging parents, fatigue from the job, fatigue from surgery, and so on, could lower your sex drive. That is why we have to be healthy and strong. Sap your knees with brandy. Yes, I mean, let your church find out that you're sapping your knee with brandy. See what they will do with you. Because they will say, after you're done sapping your knee with the brandy, what you doing with the rest of the bottle? But our parents used to do that, and they said it worked. I know. So let's talk about the hormone changes in women. I tell you, the one with the women kind of longer than the one with the men. Hormone changes. The changes in the hormone may differ and alter your sex life. Menopause, number one culprit in this case. Menopause. And with the kind of heat that passing through here, I feel it for these women. I really, really feel it. Because you'll just watch a woman and she just drenching shine with sweat out of nowhere. Yep. Hot flash she going through. The estrogen level drops at this case in this stage of her life. And because the estrogen what is similar to testosterone that gives the man the high sex drive. Estrogen gives the woman her high sex drive. But the estrogen levels drops at menopause. Now, some people get also a dip in desire for sex, but would you believe that there are some people who do not dip? In fact, some people take it a notch up. I don't know why, probably because they're healthier. I don't know. But that is one of the reasons. And it is at that time, as we said, the secretions are lowered, and so having sex could become painful. KY jelly should be in your purse at all times. Keep it close to you because you may need it. Yep. So those hormonal changes that take place in a woman is going to affect her life. Now, think of the impact of what that happens in a relationship, in a marriage, and so on. A woman is going through hormones. But a man's, let's say the man's sex drive is still high and hers takes a dip because she's going through hormones. You could understand how there's a certain age that you'll notice that a lot of men have the good wives, and all of a sudden they become unfaithful to this wife with a younger woman. Not a justification we are making here. We have given you some explanation of some of the dynamics that take place. But shouldn't you take it through thick and thin, for rich, for poor, for better, for worse, and in sickness and in health? Shouldn't it be all the way through that you're there with it? This is not the doing of the woman. This is how things are. And vice versa also with the men. There comes a time that the man, because he's aging and his testosterone level drops, he can no longer perform as he would have as a young man. Some young men boast of having it 2 and 3 times in a night. What do you think it is? It's going out of style? You think it is going out as a stock sale? Yeah. But after a while, after you do that a couple of times, well in your young age, you come to a time that If you could make one in a week, be praised. Be very happy that you can make one in a week. And some people once in 2 weeks. And then some people get to the point where it is a no-sex relationship, no-sex marriage. And it does not mean no sex at all, but I think they said if you're having sex once in 3 months or something so, or twice in a year or something of the sort, then you have a no-sex marriage, a no-sex relationship. All right, so let's go now. All right, we're talking about the psychological impact. If the woman is going through some mental stress, and that is why it is important that a woman preserves her mental fitness, and a man tries not to give the woman any mental stress, because you can't expect her to perform the way how you would like her to perform and give her stress at the same time. You have to give up one of them. So she has to be mentally fit in order to be able to perform well, and such. So anxiety and depression and so on, she has to stay away from that, especially as she ages. A woman can really, if she's healthy and strong, can have sex late in her life. We think that it is because of age that she has to stop. No, she doesn't have to stop. I know of many aged women, as we said last week's program, who are doing quite well and performing. We bought some doctor's report that said some of these women perform much better than a younger girl in her 20s and so on. Yeah. So if the woman feels her body is not beautiful, it could also lower, because she might have made children, she's not happy with the way how she looks and so on. That could affect her also. And so she does not perform in bed. She's not going to wear revealing clothing to inspire and trigger things and so on. No, she stops that. I'm not sure what Sharon mean by, remember the apple don't fall far from the tree. I know what the statement is, but I'm not too sure what you're referring to inside of this. Unless you're talking about you are an apple and you ain't fall far from your mother tree. June said age is just a number. Right. You see? Yes, Joan is 70 years old. And if you see Joan put on dance, walk on the streets for her birthday for 70 years, it have some young people could not keep up with Joan. It depends how you take care of your body. Exactly what I'm saying. It is taking care of your body, people. I don't know how we can repeat that over and over. You can't expect to abuse your body. Fat night and day in your young years. And don't expect to find that your tire is treadmill. I find you're revving your engine too much and burning tires. It cannot stand up in your older years. Yeah. So if you want to really go long, go slow and steady. That's my advice. They are aged and performing excellent. Yeah. Take care of yourself. You're taking care of everybody else except yourself. So financial stress. You know rent coming up and you don't know where you're getting the money from the rent. Food bills, school books, and all of that. And all of these things that you're going through with stress. You're having problems with your man. You see? That could also cause you to lose your sex drive. So, work stress. Some of you ladies, just like men, the work have you running up and down, running your blood to water. And your sex life going through, because by the time you reach home, you throw off your shoes, you wash them dishes, and you prepare something for the next day. You fall asleep sitting down on the couch waiting to go into bed. You ain't even have a chance to bathe as yet because first you're tired. You barely take a shower and you're snoring hard. Your sex life is going through because your husband knows he's not getting full performance out of you. And if you're doing it and letting him do like them gas stations, self-service. Yeah, tell him I tell you that. Self-service every time. This is not a gas station in here. All right. What time is it? All right. We only have 2 more minutes. If the woman has had a history of sexual abuse, that was also going to affect her. Previous negative sexual experiences, where she might have had a previous relationship where the man was very rough and brutal, selfish in it. Once he's satisfied, he's done, and she's not getting a chance to enjoy anything, all of that. Okay? Finally, just as we close, relationship issues, lack of connection with your partner, and this is different for a man. A man could be in a situation with a woman that both of them not talking. For most men, that does not affect his desire for sex. You don't bound to talk to him because as far as he's concerned, he's vexed with you. He is not vexed with that. Get me? So he can have it. But with a woman, gentlemen, may I suggest to you that if a woman is vexed with you, he is likely vexed with everything that pertains to you, even your partner and all she don't like. So you've got to recognize that they think differently. And if they think differently, you've got to make sure that the relationship between you and the lady, you and the madam, going well, or else she cannot give you her all. All right? So poor communication of the sexual needs also because she doesn't say exactly what she wants. She sits there or in the bed and she's not saying, this is what I like. I don't like this, but why not try this? She's not saying that because she doesn't want to affect the ego of the man. And some men not very receptive to hear that they are not really scoring. They feel that all of the hoorah and the hooray that they're hearing from themselves means that because they're enjoying it, the other person enjoying it, but the woman may very well not be enjoying it. So she's not having a good time. And then I was reading where it says 8 out of 10 women fake orgasm at least once. So the man thinks all of that he hear going on is because she enjoying it. When she is not enjoying it, she just wants you to hurry up. So she's giving you enough energy to conclude your business and go your way and left you alone. I telling all it plain. People just tell me, I know. Charmaine said your husband comparing you to the chick on the office, how sexy she looking and how you're looking so old. Yeah, that could turn you off. That could turn anybody off. Anybody. Yeah. The kids, daycare, self-service, yeah. Oh, you know about that? I will talk to you, Daisy Kids, about that self-service business at extent. Trust issues. If the person has trust issues, I did start about 2 or 3 minutes late, so I'll give you all a little leeway on that. If the person really doesn't trust you, they don't trust that the sex is clean. They're wondering if you're bringing anything to them. The woman could very well have a resentment to having sex with a man that she suspects is not being faithful and he's running the roost. So that could also affect her. Unresolved conflict. We didn't solve this problem here and you come in wanting sex. She is not going to be able to do that. Pump your own gas, Charmaine says. Yeah, that's what sometimes they'll get, you know. Because she's too tired to serve. Yeah. Dress sexy too and change your venue. You see advice coming out like that for you. So connection with your partner, unresolved conflicts and fights that you already didn't talk it out and resolve it. Ignoring it is not going to help you. And promising to talk about it after, you best resolve it before. And then you could have the sex after. For most women, they would rather that you resolve it before. If you have to give them, they have to give sex before, they'll feel as though they're being used. And that does not go well if one partner feels used in a sexual encounter. It must be something that is enjoyable on both ends. All right. Poor communication and trust issues. People, I hope you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with you all. And I as I said to my St. Vincent friends and people here while I'm here, I enjoy the hospitality and the many food dishes that you all have given to me. I'll be home very soon, my people. I want you to always share the light for Mike at Night is here for you to help you. Just if you need counseling, call me 868-688-5363. And we do online counseling for those who are not on the same island as me. So we could do it by Zoom, WhatsApp, what have you. God bless you. I'm Michael Stewart. Enjoy it now.